Wait a minute, say I hate you.
I hate you.
Okay, okay. So you get a free question. What do I like about Telegraph? What do I like about Telegraph? So that's a positive. I have a problem with positives because I don't say them.
Okay.
Negatives, I say
What do you hate
negatives.
about Telegraph?
Well, you want to start with negative? What do I hate about you, Telegraph? I hate you, Telegraph, being so short. I want you to be like 4,000 miles long, you know, like from here to New York. Because I feel comfortable here, safe, knock, knock, knock. And if you were just longer, then I could go anywhere. That's basically my only complaint with you, Telegraph.
What would you change about Telegraph Avenue if you could?
I don't like change. I wouldn't change anything. You know, I just try to work with the situation the way it is. Or push hands if you want me to really say one change I would make here. Because it's just sort of discretionary. Okay. If I was Telegraph and I wanted to be generous, spirited, I would unlock my garbage cans. Because then it would be easier for bums to live. But that's basically the only change that I would make. Otherwise, I feel just,
let's just walk.
Be what you are.
Why don't we just walk along?
Tell me to do it.
Just walk that way.
Well, I'm walking away from my cigarettes.
Well, don't worry.
Okay, well, I'm a little paranoid.
Tell me what you like about Telegraph Avenue.
Well, that's hard for me because I don't say positives, but but I could stay with that. If I was Telegraph, then I could be smug. I'm Telegraph. Hey, I'm hot. I got a mix of people, tourists, students, bums, which I think personally are like the most interesting group of people in the world right now. Visitors, residents, professors. I mean, it's a real mix of people. A mix of shops. There's like indoor shops and vendors, and the vendors here are like crazy. I mean, they're cranking out really weird things that are here sometimes only for a day. Like there are even these like in between vendors where they're not really licensed. They just kind of set up for the day and then you never see them again. So there's a real choice of lifestyles and products, things to buy or look at here. Weirdos. But philosophically also, if I'm Telegraph, I'd be smug because Berkeley is named for a philosopher and there's a mix of ideas here. So it's not only products and people. There's a lot of crazy ideas being proposed. Saying I hate you, of course, is one that's being said here more than anywhere else on the planet, which I feel is a way of caring. But there's all kinds of ideas bouncing around, arguments in the street, on the campus. And it's near the campus. There are drums. There are other things to do here that I think are very aerodynamic. Oh, I'm constantly arguing, just for me. But there are all kinds of arguments. I mean, there'd be a black and a white would be arguing and getting some basic shit out on the table, like I hate your fucking guts, or
that's good.
It's very. Sproul, of course, is the most famous for this, the free speech area. But this happens on Telegraph, where there'll just constantly be arguments, fights, you know, but that happens everywhere these days.
Fights with the merchants here?
I mean, there are all kinds of tensions, you know, between merchants and homeless people, between vendors and merchants. I mean, but these things I think are more out in the open. They're being dealt with more openly here, and hopefully more simply here than anywhere else on the planet that I know. That's why I'm here. This is the only place I ever go. I don't even go to Shattuck. I went to Montana in '76.
Why don't you go to Shattuck?
It's too far away. I mean, I don't know the people down there, and everybody is tense these days. It seems to me, everywhere I go, people are like jumpy. You know, it's like, who are you? I don't know who you are. Do you have a gun in your pocket? You're gonna rob me or something? And to me, I don't go anywhere. I mean, I'll talk to people and they're oh yeah, I'm going to Paris for the summer or something like that. I'm afraid to go anywhere. Go to the airport. People are X-raying me. Afraid the plane is gonna blow up. I'm just like holding onto the tree right here, the telephone pole. I don't want to go anywhere. I'm just trying to stay right where I am and survive, adapt.
So do you think everyone's happy here on Telegraph?
Happy, happy is not enough for me. I want to be ecstatic. I want to be blissed out. If I'm happy,
happiness is for the fucking English.
If I'm happy in some way, I'm going to be unhappy in some other way. So I could have an old lady, but I don't have the rent. Or I could have cigarettes, but I don't have coffee. Ecstasy is where I don't know what I have.
begging for the
I mean, people are happy everywhere. People are unhappy everywhere. I'm looking for. I'm working on ecstasy.
If you could change something about Telegraph, what would it be?
See, that's it. That's it. I wouldn't. I don't like change. I wouldn't change anything. I just wait till things fall off the tree and then pick them up. I'm not that innovative, you know. Whereas like some people say, oh, we should do this over here. We should do that. I don't think that way. I tend to just try to get along with what's going on.
But do you think other people seem to get along with what's going on?
I don't know. People ask me how has Telegraph changed. You know, I don't know. I'm basically oblivious to change. You know, until as long as it's a problem, then I adapt. And I don't know it's changed. People say how's Telegraph changed. I don't know. You know, it's to me, I'm right. I'm here now. People say it's changed in the last year or 2 years or 5 years. I don't. I'm not that sophisticated about change. I'm just trying to adapt.
Asshole.
Just a little dynamic. Or say,
Head back a little bit, please.
tell me to do it.
Put your
Hat.
yeah, because I'm getting a big shadow in there. Okay, cool. We're all set. What do you like about Telegraph?
Well, see, now normally I don't say positive, so I have a problem.
What do you hate about
If you were Telegraph, then I wouldn't
Okay,
I
I'm
wouldn't tell you what I liked about you. But what if I'm Telegraph?
I'm
So
Telegraph.
no, I'll be Telegraph. So if I'm Telegraph, then I would be smug that I feel I'm you know, probably one of the most unique streets in the world, with a mix of vendors, shops, people, weirdos, visitors, students, professors, authors, crazy video people. There's a real mix of people here and things to do. You can get pierced, you know, on the street, or get tattoos, buy funny jewelry or unusual jewelry, and you know, there's a whole. Plus, the campus is right here, so there are drums and things on the campus that are. So if I'm Telegraph, I should be smug, you know, that I'm next to the campus with the drums. I mean, it's a scene, and there's a mix of not only cultures and different types of people, rich people and poor people, bums and corporation presidents. So that's criminals and you know. So there's a mix here. If I'm Telegraph, I feel smug. It's a very well, it's a dynamic thing. It's like a soap bubble in a flood. I mean, it's kind of, I don't know if it's fragile, but it's a delicate situation. And that's partly what makes it exciting. Why I, Telegraph, am exciting to be here, because you may get robbed, or you may get a bargain. Worst possibility would be robbery.
What do you hate about Telegraph?
Okay, now let's say if you're a Telegraph, I hate you, Telegraph, not being longer, because I'd like to be able to, you know, like as long as New York, you know, because I mean, this is basically the space I operate in, and I don't even go to Shattuck, you know, much less Oregon. So if Telegraph go to New York, then I could go back to New York.
Do you mind starting from I hate you Telegraph because?
Tell me to do it.
Start from I hate you Telegraph because.
Okay. Yeah, I hate you, Telegraph. I think my main problem with you, Telegraph, is that you're too short. You know, like be longer, like to New York. You know, and then I could just go all the way to New York. I mean, this is basically my zone, a zone that I'm comfortable in. I don't even go to Shattuck, you know, much less Montana. I did go to Montana once, but I basically hang out here. I mean, this is basically where I spend my time, you know, eating out of the trash and making a spectacle of myself, trying to.
So what about these Berkeley philosophers?
Well, so that's another part of the mix, is that, I mean, Berkeley is named for a philosopher, and it's a very philosophical town. I mean, it's also a place where you can buy drugs, but there's a lot of dialogue going on here that I think is very, very basic, talking about political things or racial issues. There'll be furious debates on the campus, and sometimes on Telegraph, between representatives of different points of view. And that's an important part of the appeal of Telegraph and Berkeley for me, is that there's this dialogue going on between opposites, between different points of view. So they're out in the open here.
So can you just repeat what you just said about you like the fact that there's a dialogue here?
Well, I feel aside from the shopping and the spectacle, there's a very basic, there are very basic dialogues going on, discussions, arguments between. For some reason, Berkeley is a space, and Telegraph in particular, is a space where things are on the surface, where issues are being argued, people yelling at each other, and generally or hopefully in a caring way to get this stuff out in the open, to argue about it, to talk about it, whether it's feminism or Arab-Israeli tension or racial tension. Get this stuff out in the open and let's fight about it. Let's talk about it. Let's argue about it, and let's be real with each other. And to me, this is a place. Telegraph is a place. You Telegraph are a place where that does happen. No, I don't hear any music.
Can you tell me a little bit about your philosophy of...
Now that woman who does a tightrope walk could walk on us.
I know, I didn't get her.
I'm glad you didn't. I didn't like that scene. I tried to heckle and I had like 20 people ready to kill me.
To ride a tightrope right now, philosophically.
Well, what? Be more specific.
About what? About politics? About freedom? About freedom of expression?
Well, to me, there's this gap in the country. I mean, I used to hear about the generation gap. To me, the main gap philosophically in the country, if not the world, right now, is people who can't say the F word. And like television isn't, we're not supposed to say F, you know, blankety blank blank on television. I mean, that's why people go to movies, because they're not seeing it on television. I mean, it's in the street, it's in a lot of homes, but there are a certain number of people, I don't know what the percentage is in America, who will not say the F word. And Telegraph, there are more people saying the F word, F-U, here in Telegraph, I feel, than anywhere else. I feel it's a totally caring statement. It's not talking about sex. It's talking about intensity. It's adding intensity to a statement. It's if I'm effing pissed, that's a way to emphasize it rather than just saying, oh, I'm upset or something like that. And to me, Telegraph is the place on the planet. I mean, there are more people saying the F word here, F-U, here, than even in New York. And I think it's a very clearing thing to get this stuff out in the open. To be honest, let's be real.
Do you think people are like... Do you think people are freer in their expression?
Yes, and it's no accident that the free speech movement started here with the F word at the core of it. And I feel in some way Berkeley and Telegraph and the campus are still at the core of this event.
Excellent.
Did you sing it?
I'll dupe it. You got the whole thing duped.
Well, knock, knock, knock. I haven't seen one yet.
I don't think there's any excuses, but I have to go look at it.
Well, don't even talk.
What do you think about Telegraph Avenue?